Shabbat Shalom. Did you see that the Stage Deli closed last week? Yeah, no, it did. I haven't eaten there in years. You know, lately only those aggravating, wide-eyed foreign tourists lined up out there, but I was still sad to see it close. It reminded me yet again that nothing stands still in life. Everything changes. Everything is fluid. The one constant of life is change. For heaven's sake, the Pope opened a Twitter account this week. The 85-year-old Pope, the very symbol of conservatism. And that very day, he was welcomed on Twitter by Shimon Peres, the 89-year-old president of the State of Israel, tweeting his congratulations. I got to get me one of those Twitter accounts so that I can tweet you all day in 140 characters. I'm sure that you're dying to hear from me all the time. You know, things might look permanent to us until they're not. If there's one thing that you could always count on in New York, it was that the Stage Deli and the Carnegie Deli would continue to compete against each other block by block, one aside the other, in perpetuity. Or as we say in Jewish, until Mashiach comes. For all of you here today under the age of 40, have you even heard of the Stage Deli? Who even eats this way anymore? Well, if there are people here who might not have studied about ancient America in the 20th century, in your high school or college world history class, the Stage Deli was one of hundreds of what were once called Jewish delis in New York City. It's where Jews from the hood came to fress. There they would gulp down something called chopped liver. They would devour foot-high corned beef and pastrami on rye sandwiches. Rye, by the way, did not imply that the stage diners had some kind of special satirical, sardonic, or sarcastic something about them. It was a name given to a special form of bread in the 20th century. Now, we're much more sophisticated and health conscious. Never mind that our grandmothers lived to the age of 90 eating chopped liver smothered in griveness every day. Why are you looking at me? You don't know what griveness is? Somebody over 40 explain to these people under 40 what griveness is. Never mind that our grandmothers lived long lives eating Rubens and schmaltz until their final days, never knowing that their children would grow up to be doctors and would tell their patients that they won't live long if they eat like their grandmothers. For us, nowadays, we don't touch that stuff. We eat only low-fat, low-cholesterol, low-enjoyment food. But at least we'll die of something else. Pollution, or bizarre allergies, some proper 21st century ailment. I suspect that Jewish ethnic food is no longer exotic. Japanese ethnic? Sushi? That's good. Fusion? Oriental and American? That's good. Even European food is still appealing. And of course, Chinese food will always remain Jewish. But that's another sermon. But that Jewish deli food, it's ghetto food. We don't identify it with it anymore. You remember the Jewish deli owner in the early 20th century who desperately wanted to go upscale to appeal to the sophisticates of Manhattan? So Mo the tailor walked in one day and asked for a pound of lox. The deli owner responded, "We don't have lox, but we have smoked salmon." "Okay," said Mo, "give me a pound of that smoked salmon. And then I want a dozen blintzes." The deli owner responded, "We don't have blintzes, but we have crepes." Okay, said Mo, I'll take a dozen of those grapes. And then I want 2 pounds of chopped liver. We don't have chopped liver, the deli owner responded, but we have pate. Okay, I'll take that, said Mo, and can you deliver it all on Saturday morning before lunch? Are you crazy? Said the deli owner. We don't schlep food on Shabbos. So even though no one in their right minds would eat chopped liver smothered in schmaltz anymore, except foreign tourists waiting outside the stage deli, I'm still sad to see the stage deli go. I fear that it's another vestige of Jewish culture that is blowing in the wind and disappearing in the face of relentless, irresistible melting pot fusion of worldly New York City. See, it's not that this Jewish ethnic food is being replaced by some other Jewish ethnic food. We're going all in for the latest Peruvian cuisine. Gourmet tacos, gluten-free pastas, kale, celery, Himalayan goji berries, acai. That's how you pronounce it, I think. And the newest trends in high-protein, high-antioxidant, low-fat delicacies. So we're losing some Jewish culture through food without replacing it with something 21st century Jewish. Tomorrow night is the first night of Hanukkah. Take some of those latkes and jelly donuts and press away. Enjoy all that oil and grease. It won't kill you. Hanukkah is the festival of Jewish survival. How could it kill you? And anyway, it rolls around only once a year. You can't eat a latke, which symbolizes the miracle of Jewish survival through the miracle of oil. You can't eat a latke and have that kill you. It's a contradiction in terms. And if you have any doubt, take some Lipitor, prescribed to you by a Jewish doctor whose grandmother ate grivenous well into her 90s. I think about the survival of Jewish culture a lot. By the time of the Maccabees, it was almost over for the Jews. There were hardly any Jews left. Judaism was on the verge of disappearing. Hellenistic culture was overwhelming. A few committed Hasmoneans refused to assimilate. They refused to throw in the tallis. They insisted on Jewish survival. And in some inexplicable way, these fundamentally flawed Hasmoneans ended up, for a brief moment in time, being the vehicle through which Judaism survived. Were it not for them, Judaism might very well have ended around the 2nd or the 1st century BCE, the same period that many other ancient civilizations succumbed to Hellenism and disappeared from the face of the earth. And these Hasmoneans created the festival of Hanukkah, and over time, Hanukkah bequeathed to us all this Hanukkah ethnic food. So when you light the first candle of Hanukkah tomorrow night, rededicate yourselves to Judaism. That's the meaning of the word, Chanukah. We are rededicating ourselves to Jewish life, to Jewish continuity, and to Jewish survival. The candles symbolize Jewish distinctiveness. The candles symbolize Jewish commitment. There will be Jews in my family for the next generation and for generations to come. There is a basic Jewish stubbornness built into the emotional fabric of Hanukkah. Dafka, as we say in Hebrew, which means something like, just because I want to, and you, through the centuries, have wanted to prevent me. You want to destroy the Jews? Dafka. We will double our efforts to survive. You want to overwhelm the Jews with what you call universal culture? Dafka. We will assert our distinctiveness just because. And as we light those candles, let us take in the miracle of Jewish survival, as we will recite tomorrow the third blessing for the first night of Hanukkah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. Praised are you, O God, ruler of the universe, who gives us life, sustains us, and allowed us to reach this day. Amen.